Afternoon, folks, or good evening, or whenever you're watching this. Hope everyone's having a good week so far and a good day. Jesse's press conference has just finished, so we're going to do a bit of a review on what he has said or hasn't said, as might be more the case, as well as go through the news stuff for today. So we'll crack on. Just to start off, because we had a ton of new subscribers yesterday, so if you are new to the channel, if you want to know what this channel is all about, the primary focus of this channel is just daily Leeds news, whatever's floating around on Twitter, on Facebook, on Reddit, anywhere, and I'll try and pull it all together and put it in one place for you guys in usually less than 10 minutes. So that's the idea. That's the goal. Let's start off with some loan news. And Max Dean, who was left out of the Leeds U21 side yesterday for their game, has been heavily linked with a move to Milton Keynes Dons to re-link up with Mark Jackson. And according to a couple of places this morning, it looks like that deal is all but done. Jackson is still a fan of Max Dean, and MK Dons have been struggling to score goals this season. So Mark Jackson dipping into a pool of players he knows very, very well to bring Max Dean across. Max is out of contract in 6 months' time, so it'll be interesting to see if he comes in and stays at MK Dons, or if he comes back to Leeds in some form of an extension. Unknown at the moment, so we'll have to see how the loan move goes. But fingers crossed for Max. He's a cracking player with a great attitude, and hopefully he does really well down at MK Dons. So, and best luck to Jacko with that as well. Moving on to the mains, there's 2 or 3 main stories today to kind of cover off, and they're a bit mixed around. So there's Ounahi and the latest information on that, because there's conflicting reports on that. There's conflicting reports on what's going on with Ounahi and Jesse Marsch, and possibly that Jesse Marsch could be under severe pressure. And then there's also news of 49ers takeover. So the Ounahi and the Jesse Marsch are kind of linked together. So I want to try and bundle these in and have a quick chat with them. So talking about Ounahi, and again, yes, they're trying to bring everyone up to speed on where we were with the deal. This is a crazy deal that seems to be evolving every single day, and there's conflicting reports. And according to the Daily Mail, so pinch of salt on that one before we even get into it, they said that negotiations between Leeds and Angers, how's that one? Is that better? Angers, Angers, are actually on hold at the moment, because there are now apparently talks behind the scenes with Leeds around Jesse Marsch's future. And according to the Mail, that they said that negotiations were on hold as Orta, Kinnear and Radrazani discussed Jesse Marsch's future. Jesse's under severe pressure at the moment with only 4 wins, which is not great. Leeds in a tricky position in the league. Still 14th in the table, still where they were predicted to finish, which is not bad, but that 2-point gap to the relegation zone is the problem. He really does need a result tomorrow night against Cardiff in the Cup, and then he needs to get a result against Brentford. And apparently, according to Daily Mail, if he doesn't get the result against Brentford at the weekend, he could be out of a job. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that part of it. However, and this is where the conflict comes in. And I'm trying with the names of places that I can't pronounce, as the new French in school. So L'Equipe, or a French publication has said something slightly different. And what they've said is that Angers club president Saeed Shabain traveled to England on Monday to meet with club officials. Apparently, he traveled to meet an unnamed British club. However, it does say not Leicester. So Leeds and Leicester were the two that were apparently interested in the player. Reports claim that Leeds have made a superior offer to Napoli for the player, as well as superior wages offers. And reports say that that he met with an unnamed Premier League club, not Leicester, is what it says. So that's an interesting one. But the issue with the transfer, the biggest issue with the transfer for Ounahi seems to be that Angers want the player back on loan for the remainder of the season. And Leeds don't want that to happen. However, Napoli have said that they would be willing to let the player go back to Angers on loan for the remainder of the season, which is what they want. It's going to be a tricky one. It's going to be, and people saying in the chat, don't believe anything Daily Mail. I don't. That's what I'm saying. Pinch of salt. Sometimes they're right, more often than not. But we'll have to wait and see. It's also an easy article to talk about Jesse Marsch's future right now. It's an obviously easy article to write. So, Yeah, so that's the situation there. So it's a weird one. Again, saying yes, people were saying it. Player hasn't said he doesn't want to play for Leeds, just said his preference was Napoli. However, that seems to have changed all now. It'd be interesting to see if they can get it done. Jesse was asked in the press conference today about transfers and just give the same answer he's been given for the last couple of weeks. Don't talk about it. So that's that. Let's talk briefly then, and the last of the news stories before we get to the press conference stuff. The 49ers and the potential takeover. It's become very apparent over the last couple of weeks that the influx of cash into Leeds seems to be coming from the 49ers directions, apparently. And we'll have to wait and see what happens with that longer term. But it, sorry, I'm about to say a chat that's catching me off guard. Yeah, the money's coming in from 49ers, and it appears to be funded by them this window. But what's the bigger picture? What's the plan? What's going on? You know, we know that there's a buyout in 2024, but according to David Ornstein and The Athletic, the 49ers will complete their Leeds United takeover this coming summer, 2023. They said that Ornstein has suggested the 49ers enterprises, who are led by the York family. Just to clarify this as well for people who keep asking this question, keeps coming up. People keep saying the 49ers aren't buying Leeds, it's 49ers enterprises. 49er enterprises are owned and operated by the York family, and I think Peter Lowy's involved in that as well. They own the San Francisco 49ers, and then 49ers enterprises have that shareholding in Leeds as well. So to say the 49ers are buying Leeds is kind of the same thing. It's the same thing. 49 enterprises who own them are buying Leeds. You're talking well into the billions. I think we said yesterday that the York family's wealth is something between $2.5 and $5 billion. You add in Peter Lowy to that, I think he's in around the $6 to $9 billion mark as well. He's quite wealthy, one of Australia's wealthiest men. So those two combined is a good thing for Leeds. But again, as I was saying, Ornstein has said that the takeover could happen as late. The latest will be the end of 2022-2023 season, which is this season. And what was said is, in the quote is that revealed by the that the option that they have to buy Leeds isn't necessarily for 2024. It's up to 2024. And what Ornstein has said is increasingly minded that 49ers are increasingly minded to push through its takeover before that date. Talks of a proposed transition have been intensifying, with the deal expected to be completed by the summer at latest. So it's an exciting one. I like what I've seen so far with the 49ers. Again, as I said, people yesterday on Twitter, if you haven't seen the interview we did with Cam Inman from the 49ers, it's on the channel. You can go check that out. What I will say is he does mention in it, you're probably going to get a new stadium. What he means by that isn't a new stadium. What he means by that is a redevelopment of the existing stadium. Leeds have plenty of land there. They don't need to go and move out of the city. They've already got the land. So there's no issue there with that. Yeah, big news story. It's a big one. I suppose it's the most obvious looking one, isn't it? It's the one that we all kind of thought would happen pretty soon. It looks more and more likely that this kind of stuff is going to go through. So we'll have to wait and see. But it's looking good. We can't say they haven't put their hand in their pocket already, because we've got Max Fober and we've broken our transfer deal. And as I said yesterday, plenty of people commented on this channel that they guaranteed us that Leeds wouldn't sign anybody. And we signed 2 and we've broken our transfer record. Now, whether they're good players or not, we'll have to wait and see. That's it from a news perspective. I am going to talk about Jesse's press conference now. So if you've already seen it, you don't want to talk about it, that's okay. You can pop off. If you want to stick around, you can. More than welcome. Keep me company. And we'll get into this. Look at the injury stuff and what's come out for the game tomorrow night. So just focus on the Wednesday game is Adam Forshaw, Chris Somerville, and Archie are out of that game. Adam's got some minor knock or something. He's out again. Liam Cooper strained his knee yesterday in training, although Jesse has said that it is touch and go with the player. A decision will be made probably tomorrow or before the game. Sinisterra did train with the squad today, and Jesse said he looked good, he feels good, and it's possible that he could be in contention to play a part in tomorrow's squad. Later on, he talked about Pat Bamford, and he said that he's looked really, really good, that he's in a really positive headspace, and that he could play tomorrow. It's not decided whether he'll start or not, but he could play tomorrow night as well. Jesse moved on to talk about Ruter. Georgina Ruter is how it's pronounced, apparently. Georgina Ruter, and Jesse said that what they tried to convey to the player when I spoke to him is what they're trying to do at Leeds is a longer term project, and they want people to look at the full project. Jesse said that he's watched Ruter for a long, long time and knows him even back when he was managing RB Leipzig, has kept an eye on him. He said he's a very hard working player. He's a good guy. He said that he's got a very good, strong tactical understanding. He said, what you tend to find is when coaching players that come in from the German leagues is German players and players that play in Germany tend to have a very strong tactical awareness and tactical knowledge. It's bred into them over there as well. But when you go and play for a German side, it's very heavily focused on the tactical side of things. So he's got a good tactical understanding. He said after a short conversation, it became very, very apparent that the player understood what was expected of him and understood what was needed to happen. So that's positive as well. He said he still doesn't want to talk about other transfers like Ounahi and everything else coming in, but on Rutter, he says he's very happy with him. He also said that if you look at players around the leagues, most players are predominantly one-footed, either right foot or left foot. He also said that if you look at players that are actually two-footed, that what you actually see is that they're like 60% on the strong foot, 40% on the weak foot, or 80% versus 20, but they still favor one foot. He says with Rutter, what you see is a 50-50 split on right and left foot, which makes him a very dynamic player. So, sorry. Try not to sneeze and cough to get through this morning. It's all the long pauses are me either sneezing or coughing inside my head, trying to stop myself from doing it out loud. Moving on then, let's have a quick chat. I asked about replacing Jacko in the squad again. Jesse was asked about it and he said, laughing, couple of days. And he said, I know I've been saying that for a while. He said, but it's not been an easy thing to get done, but they're very close. So fingers crossed we'll see somebody come in there. Hopefully defender. Hopefully defensive coach. That'd be great to see, wouldn't it? He said on the Leeds team at the moment, he said the side is showing more and more belief. He said the game against Aston Villa was the second most intensive game in the Premier League ever. I think it's for Leeds ever is what he actually meant. That was clarified in Leeds. That game was 13,000 meters covered with only 48 minutes of game time, the ball being played for 48 minutes. So he said it's the team are getting it. The more intensive is there. The intensive performances are there. The weekend's game gave him exactly what he wanted from a performance standpoint. He wants to see more of that. He said he's annoyed and he's frustrated that it's taken us this long to get to that point where we can actually understand what's expected of us. But he said he believes after the Villa game that maybe the penny has dropped and Leeds are where they need to be. Again, I mentioned Bamford already, could be in contention for tomorrow. We talked about Rodrigo as well. Said fantastic against Villa. Probably one of the best performances he's had from any striker without scoring a goal. He said he was unlucky, but put in an incredible shift as well for the team. Huge amount of credit given to them, to Rodrigo there as well. He said on tactical side of things, he said we're getting better tactically. He said he knows it's frustrating for the fans and the support can wane during periods like this, but he says we are trying to get to a certain place and we're trying to get to as quick as we can. He thinks we're there now. He said that he expects Leeds to be a very, very good side and he expects them to be a very good sign soon. How long is soon? How long is a piece of string? I said yesterday, I like the guy, but I think he's running out of roads and he needs to get some results in the next 2 weeks. Specifically in the next 2 weeks. He's at the highest belief he has ever been with the current Leeds squad. He believes the players that we have are good. It's a good team, and they're starting to understand what's expected of them. Asked about Joe Gallagher's involvement with more strikers coming in. He said there's been internal discussions this week, and decisions will be made in the coming weeks. Everything is on the table. There's lots of different opportunities for the guys. So, but they will be making a decision in the coming weeks. Asked him about Max Verber coming in. He said the interesting thing about Verber is since Max has played, every minute that he's played, Leeds haven't conceded. So the 3 games that he's come on and been involved in, Leeds conceded no goals and scored 3. So he said he's had a positive impact. My argument would be then let's start the guy. Maybe. Let's not concede any goals. Let's just start him. If Cooper's out tomorrow, opportunity to bring him in. So that's a good move, hopefully. And then on backing, he said that he accepts and understands the pressure that he's under at Leeds at the moment. He said that they're working hard and doing everything they can to get this to click a lot quicker than it has been. And he said that he's disappointed as anyone is that it hasn't developed as quickly as he would have wanted. But he said that we're going to be a very good side and we're going to be a very good side soon. So that's pretty much it. I don't know how we feel about it. It's somebody said the start of this very, very much at the very, very start. Jesse says an awful lot. There it is there. From John Heckles, Jesse could be a politician. He says a lot without actually saying anything. Sometimes, John, I think that's probably a good thing for Jesse. He says sometimes I think it's a little bit too open and honest. I'd rather the say nothing or politicians answer for now, just to get out of this. He just keeps handing people sticks to beat them with. I think at this stage, he just needs to go and get results. So that's pretty much it for today, folks. An interesting one. Cardiff tomorrow night. Would love to know your take on the game tomorrow night. What team do you want to see? Rutter's not available for that game. Bamford might be back in. Sinister might be back involved as well. So it's an interesting one. And what do you feel about the 49ers takeover stuff being pushed forward to the summer? And obviously being very involved in this transfer round as well. Let me know in the comments. I'll be there later on to have a chat with you. I just want to say again, a massive thanks to everyone who follows the sports channel. If you like the channel, you can subscribe. That helps me out. That's all I ask. And have a great day. And I'll see you tomorrow for the last bit of previews before the game. See you then. Bye.